Greetings, Patrick here. 8 Questions with, and welcome to the show. Hey, there she is, New York gal in the house. How are you? How are you? Good thing you came for this one, boys and girls, because we are gonna have fun tonight. Of course, I'm looking outside, and the orange is still out there, though it does seem a little bit lighter than it did a couple of hours ago. A couple of hours ago, it looked pretty grim, but it seems to be lightening up a little bit. So hopefully by tomorrow, we can start getting our sky back. But for today, it was awful. I had to go out and make an errand, and yeah, you could definitely smell the smoke. The only good thing about it was it actually kept our temperatures very mild. It was very mild outside, but it's not like you could go outside and enjoy it because it's smoky. Tonight we're having a virtual army of talent invade 8 Questions with. We are talking with Alexander Raye Pimentel and his crew of Future of Film Productions. That means we are going to meet a lot of people tonight. I believe that Alexander is bringing up to 5 of his team with him. We can handle that. Not a problem. It's all good. I told him to. I said, bring some people up. It's a lot of fun. Panel shows can be a lot of fun. I don't get them enough, actually. I really don't get enough of that. I need to do more. Because I tell you, my favorite as far as panel shows go, man, I really like it when I talk to Alexander Nevsky, Joe Cornett, and Tatiana Neva. Those three are probably my personal favorite of all the panel shows that I've done. They're always a joy to talk to. Oh, and by the way, Tatiana will be here in August to talk with us. Yes, that's my first announcement of that. I do believe that Alexander will be hanging out with us as well. I certainly hope so. I'm very excited to talk with Tatiana about her new film, and Alex is going to be doing a horror film, which is awesome. He wants to do one. Whereas Alexander and his team, they are doing all sorts of films. They are doing action films. They're doing drama films. They are extremely busy as far as that goes. Some of the films that they've done on a micro budgeting include the recent release, Duffle Bag Boy. I watched a movie called Rattle Can. I watched that from 2021. I watched that, and there's also the directive they have worked on. They have did, which looks to be a thriller, Downriver, which is a war film. Escape behind enemy lines. That's always a good tagline. And then a film called I Call First. So Alexander has and I was reading about how he has done it. It's very much like a lot of the film companies in Alberta, Canada. We've talked to film companies in Cleveland, Ohio, and Iowa, and that is a lot of them come together with a group of people, a group of friends, and they work to make movies happen. In fact, we talked about the very same thing last night with Jack McCord. Is he's part of a group of actors and artists that work to support Todd Sheets, and so I think that's what we're going to be seeing here tonight with Alexander and his crew, folks that he has helped honed. Because a lot of his now this is a while ago. I'm sure now some of them are battle hardened vets as far as making a film goes, micro budget film at that. But when he first started, a lot of the team was just learning on the go. They're learning as they're learn by doing, and so a lot of them were helping out for free to get the experience, to get the practical experience. Personally, I think it's the best way to build a film company. I really do. I think coming on in there and learning as you go. You don't know how to use a boom op. You're there at the site at the set, but you don't know how to work a boom mic. can't think of a better way to do it right here, right now. Here's what you're going to do. And then you learn. And then you help contribute to the movie. The next movie comes. Guess what? You know how to do that. And you know how to do it well. And you're getting better at it. So very impressive. Very impressive. And I'm really glad that he's bringing the 5 people. I have a feeling if I said bring 9, I have a feeling he could have done that. And so I'm really excited to talk to him and his team. Now, I watched some of them. Like I said, I watched some of the movies, and what's really neat about that is you can see the growth. Like some movies you can see the growing pains, and you just know, you look at that for what it is. You look at it and go, okay, it's new to them. They don't have it quite there yet, but they keep going forward. They just don't sit in the comfort zone saying we could do this and not, and not be risky, not take any risk. I didn't see that. I saw a lot of growth and a lot of potential with foundations of film. Yeah, I should know this. I don't know where future of film productions. So I think it's exciting. Myself, I'm looking forward to talking to these folks and seeing what they bring to the party. I want to thank everybody who showed up yesterday for our show. Hey, there's Jim again. Hey, I'm finally watching The Coffee Table. Remember, Jim, I'm your friend. But just good luck. Let me know what you think of it. That one's Jim's gonna. It's either Jim's gonna come by, sit there, and say, "I've always known that you are an awesome film picker. Anything that you say is magic," or he's gonna come back and say, "You son of a bitch! What kind of shit was that you're making me watch?" Actually, he could probably say both, and it'd be fine with me because. But The Coffee Table was my favorite film from 2 years ago. That was my number 1 movie I picked. Was a Coffee Table. It's a haunting movie. Holy shit, that thing's haunting. Yeah. Yeah, both. Well, at least it isn't. At least I didn't give you any Hallmark movies, right? You can't say I ever did that. I bring the if you get by that one, then I got a couple of others I could throw your way that you would really like. I promise. Not as intense as The Coffee Table. I do believe that is my most intense movie that I've ever reviewed. And I reviewed Martyrs. I thought Martyrs was good, but Coffee Table was like, boop. Though I do really want to know what she said to that woman at the end of Martyrs. Mystery. All right. Let's see what else is going on today. Well, I should tell you the calendar is coming on today. We picked the new movie for Dollar Theater Voters Edition. Me and the Cheetah after tonight's show. He and I will be going downstairs, firing up some tea, and watching Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon. I cannot wait. I've never seen it before. I've never seen it. This will be my first Marilyn Monroe. This will be my first Marilyn Monroe movie. All right, the first of our many, many guests are coming. So let's get the party going. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Good. And you are Gabriel Soto. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, Patrick.
So, is it Gabriel or Gabe for short, or Gabriel?
Gabe or Gabriel, whichever's easiest. I honestly am not preference, whichever's easier for you.
Yeah, I'm sort of like that too. Sometimes, it all depends on, I always want to make sure because you just never know. You just don't want to assume that, hey, it's Gabe. Well, that's not what
I appreciate that.
If it was Gabe, wouldn't I put Gabe down there? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. I know I'm similar, so I try to make people not have to stumble across the name.
so let's, as a future of film productions, let's get your role. I'm sure you're an actor.
Yep.
And I'm also sure you do crew. So what do you do acting and what do you do for the crew wise?
Yeah, so acting, I am the role that I am playing currently is Joaquin Phoenix in our new movie Cyber Recall. So I'm playing the older brother of the main character, just kind of getting a little bit more of a harsher role in there, getting that older brother feel. On the crew, though, I do a little bit of some of the setup, takedown stuff like that. I'm getting a little newer into the film industry. I'll be quite honest with you. So it's a newer industry that I'm getting to experience firsthand, but I'm loving it. It's a really cool experience to kind of see it and now kind of play with it firsthand.
I tell you one thing, you're doing it right already by helping to break down and doing the setup. I mean, that will make you a valuable member of any set. So
I
yes,
appreciate it.
there anybody can act, but it takes more to build it and set it up, and the work that behind the scenes. So
I'm genuinely impressed by that. Yeah.
yep. All right. Oh, Michael's here. Hey, what's going on, Michael from the movie Attic? Welcome, welcome. So we have gotten one of six. It's gonna be Alexander and five others.
Okay.
And I don't know who he's bringing. I just told him
He-
bring five.
it's a mystery. It's a mystery.
That's right. Bring five. So what it was while we're waiting for folks to get here. So um how many movies have you worked on so far?
I'll be honest, this is my very first. So I'm kind of a newer
Oh,
industry
nice.
into this. So this is my very first movie I am working on. So like I said, very new to it, feet wet in the water. It is a new experience completely for me.
And you're doing your first press.
Yes, yes.
Wow, that's in today's world. In today's world, that's an invaluable skill as well, because press is it's a lot different from what it used to be.
It is. It's
Um,
crazy how much it's really changed in the world.
there are so many people out there, all vying for attention, all banging on the drum. So you really have to, whenever someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, Gabriel, would you like to talk to us?" Hell yeah,
And
just do
yeah,
it. Because
get out
a
there. That's
lot
what they say.
Yeah, you have to get out there. You can, when you do your resume or your auditions or whatever, they ask you what are your background. You can sit there and say, I've been a guest on 20 podcasts. I've been a guest on 4 print articles. That's valuable right there because as a
Yeah,
casting director, one of the things you look at as a casting director too is not only the best actor, but you also want to get someone who's actually pretty good at dealing with the public as well.
yeah.
Um, and we I'm not sure if you're old enough to remember this, but I do remember for as far as when people don't do press or they don't take it seriously or they just look at it as an evil necessary evil. I think
Yep.
of Twilight with Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kristen Stewart just shat on everybody. She just like, whatever, flipped them both off. It's just really what's interesting is that after that, you sort of notice that whereas Robert Pattinson, he was more open and friendly to the press.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see how they're coming off both a good movie, in terms of money, and yet one ascended and one did not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
part of that too is because the press didn't like her. So, not to say that you have to bow down to press, but you have to understand that a good press, not muckrackers, not paparazzi or TMZ. I'm talking about real good people.
Yep.
Yeah, they're invaluable to a career. They
Yeah.
can help you, definitely. If someone sees you here today and says, "Hey, man, I this Gabriel Soto guy, man, he's impressing me. What's his? I'm gonna go check him out. I'm gonna go to his IMDb page. I'm gonna go and
Yeah.
check out his social media. He may only have one movie under his belt, but guess what? I'm now following him. So when he does something new, I'll be the first to know about it. And
Yeah.
then they tell 10 friends, and they tell 12 friends, and it just goes like that.
It's crazy. I think the world has definitely changed, and I think there's a lot of ability now to kind of really express like your craft and what you do well in the world. And obviously, media and the phones and stuff like that has really made it a useful tool to really express yourself and get yourself out in the world. But also kind of get eyes, like you said. You never know who's looking or kind of paying attention. So I truly do believe that.
All right, we have another person entering. It's going to be Alexander.
Hey, let's go.
Ta-da!
All right.
How are you?
All right.
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Not bad, not bad. We're gathering our army here.
That's right.
That's right. I'm ready. We're ready. Me and the Cheetah, we're ready to rock.
Yeah.
I'm digging your posters already in your room there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How about the posters of your own personal movies? I'm thinking that is. I think that is awesome, actually.
Oh yeah.
Most of the time, I always see people when they have posters in the background. It's like from other movies. I'm like, sort of nice to see someone who's making their movie say, "Yeah, I want you to watch my movie."
Yeah, that's right.
Have some confidence.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, I think I just saw someone. Yep, someone just bopped in. Let's see. Paul is here.
All right.
Hey.
Hey, Paul.
Wow. All right. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Hey, doing pretty good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Holy cow! You look like Sean Gunn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Does he look like?
Thanks.
Can you whistle?
I just need the whistle, right?
Yes. All right. And who says I don't like the Guardians of the Galaxy? Shut up over there already. Look at that.
That's my night
right
job.
there.
No.
Now that I'm sure we're starting to give Alexander thinking about maybe it's time for us to do a superhero movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Here I'm going.
now let me ask you. I'm going to put Alexander on the firing line right away. I mean, like right away. Yeah. So we want to hear from a director's point of view.
Okay.
What did you have you seen Obsession and the back rooms?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Just from looking through it as a director, not as a fan,
Sure.
but as a director, what impressed you most about each of those two movies? What really impressed you about them? Well, besides getting 10 million and $10 million.
For Backrooms, I really like the idea that it was this really big communal idea where a bunch of people contributed to this, this fantasy horror or fiction type of idea. And over the years, it built up to this, this film or this thing that he created on YouTube, which then became a movie. And I was really impressed by how a community could create such a big idea and put it on film.
Why do I have a feeling though this is a one-trick pony?
You're probably right. I would probably say you're right.
I was actually thinking, going like, what could you do? Where could you go with the story with that? I mean, I don't see it.
Right. I agree. It did feel like a one-time, compilation of all these ideas into one narrative.
I still have yet to see Obsession, but I heard that is extremely good. And I still have not seen was that Lung, the Iron Lung? I still haven't seen that as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I did like Obsession. I thought it was really cool how he has a very comedic style on YouTube, and then he meshed it with horror in a cool way.
Yeah, I think that's what really surprised me most about that was actually because he and his partner had made a first film called Milk and Cereal.
Right.
And the cereal was spelled as in serial killer. And and it was, and that's what they got there. They got their backgrounds are all strictly from comedy.
Right.
So but from a session, I hear there's not that a whole lot of fun. I mean, as far as jokes go, but it is a fun. It's an exciting movie, but it's not necessarily like like a laugh out loud type movie.
Sure, yeah. I think it was cool how he created. You're right. He has this very comedic background, but then if you think about the idea of the film, it really catches you in a comedic way. Have we all had that person that we wish that we could have a relationship with or that could see us, and then it flips on the main character and it's a nightmare, not at all what he expected from what he's wanting. So I liked how it was a horror, but utilizing a comedic flip on the audience in a cool way.
Yeah, because I mean, we all know somebody who sit there and say, if you could only see you, if you could only see you through my eyes, and it's
Right.
like now the movie's like, well, what if we did that? And all of a
Yeah.
sudden now it's sort of creepy. It's sort of like really weird, and it's like all of a sudden it's like be careful what you wish for.
Exactly.
Hello, John. How are you?
Hi, Patrick. How are you doing this evening?
Good, good. I'm glad you're here. I think we're expecting two more.
Two more.
Right
Yep.
on.
That I'm seeing some texts come through that they're hopping on.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Sorry about that
Yeah.
couple-minute hitch. I was trying to get in here in Firefox, and I finally just said screw it and used Safari, and suddenly
right. Yeah, I
magically
would
it all
go to
works.
Chrome.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have
sure. Yeah.
issues with the camera and the microphone on my tablet. I'm like, come on, allow.
I think mine was
Oh, that's
headphones.
exactly what happened.
Mine's headphones.
I'm
Yeah.
looking in the chat right now, and our friend Jim had came by and said hello. And have you ever done this? Because I've been recommending this movie a couple of years ago. It was my #1 movie of the year. It was a Spanish movie called The Coffee Table. Have any
Ooh.
of you seen it?
I have seen that film.
It's
You've seen
my
everything.
#1 pick. You seen
Can you
it?
give me the premise?
Whoa. Father buys a glass table, and he's left behind to babysit while he puts the table together.
Okay.
And that's about as far as I can go with it without telling you everything.
100%. Totally hear you. Totally agree. I'll check it out.
Was it called a coffee table?
Yeah, oh, so I told him, have you ever recommended a movie to somebody that's like, hell yeah, I want you to see this, and then they go see it and they come back and they go, I hate you.
Usually means it was a great movie.
Yes.
Like stuck with them in some way or another.
All that matters, as long as it left a print and a mark.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's stuck.
So I have done that with my friend Jim. I've told everybody about this movie, and tonight is his first night. He's actually going to sit down and watch it. And I'm going like, well, it was a beautiful friendship while it lasted, or it'll be like, that is the most awesomest genius film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hi Drew, how are you?
Hello.
Greetings.
Yes, sorry for coming late. I was having some issues with the link.
Oh, no problem.
Hey, Drew, how you doing, man?
In the future, if you do get press from anybody using StreamYard, it's always use Chrome. If you have it, use Chrome to enter it. Yeah, Chrome is it gets you in there. Wow, look at this. I have not done a panel show like this in forever.
All right.
Well, we're gonna have a lot of fun. And who are we waiting for?
Just Isaiah.
Okay.
He
We'll
should be
get the
getting on
party
soon.
started. Yeah, we'll get the party started, and then he can join us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and have everybody introduce themselves and what they do, what's their role at Future of Film Productions. And we'll start with Gabriel since he was the first one here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my name is Gabriel Soto. I am currently one of the side actors or kind of lead actors. I play Joaquin Pacheco in the upcoming film Cyber Recall. I also help a little bit with the team stuff too, getting to know the back end of the new film industry and kind of playing with the camera work and just directing as a whole. But yeah, it's a really exciting new kind of introductory into the film world, and I'm really excited to kind of get my feet wet and really kind of play the field now.
Welcome aboard, and I can't wait to hear more about your story. Alexander, you're up next. You are the chief bottle washer ringleader of this merry band of talent. So tell us a little bit about yourself and the hats you wear.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm an independent filmmaker, storyteller, and kind of media producer. I'm in love with storytelling and capturing things and bringing them to life and getting them out to people. Uh, Big on, wearing all these different hats to bring together all these creatives to create these really incredible stories. And then, fighting tooth and nail to get it out in front of as many people as we can. So that way everyone can grow and find more work and become who they want to become as artists.
I was me and Gabriel were talking slightly before you got here, and he's saying that he's getting his feet wet. And I was reading the background of your company, Futures of Film, and one of the things I noticed right away was that it's a very collaborative effort, and a lot of people come in and they donate their time and their effort. Um, how important is that to a young actor or a young crew member that wants to get into the business? Because it's not like you can just fill out an application and get hired. A lot of times you have to be referred. You have to know somebody on the set in order to get in order to get your fingers involved in it. So, what would you tell people if they wanted to break into the business? Um, how should they? What's best for them to do so? What's the best way that you've noticed to get people to actually get in there? And then once they're in there for their first set, how do you be able to come back to it?
Gosh, that's a great question. That reminds me of right now. I have a mentor. His name's Adam, and he's an acting coach. And he often says in our class, he says, collaborate and connect and work with people on your level and create a community, and everyone will see that, and that will help you grow. And I think that's so key. I think it's key to create, artwork with people, come together with them, create a community, create those connections, and those connections can come and help you later on down the line. You might be working on a project and then you come up with a project with the people that you're currently working with, and then something will split off and grow from that, and just keep making art. And that's the whole point of why we keep making these projects. I was even at a screening last night, and the filmmaker they were all proud and saying, hey, your film is out, it's streaming online. And he even told them, on a yearly basis I kind of make enough money to, well, I don't make enough to buy a cup of coffee. And everyone started laughing. But the audience started to defend that and say, yes, maybe you're not making a lot of money back from streaming, but you have a community of people who now have access to your artwork, and that's growing, and people want to see you make more work. And I think that's really important about, our what's going on right now, how you can tell stories and put them out online and people can see them all over the world. You come together, more and more artists create artwork and people are seeing it, you tend to build a bigger brand. People see what you're able to contribute, and collectively come together and make more art.
We have Isaiah rolling
Oh,
in,
hey,
Isaiah,
aka Ruckus. All
yeah.
right. That's a great answer, Alexander, and thank you for that. Because it's really it's always interesting to hear, and I love talking to groups that that production companies or film companies that come out and they have a lot of crew and everything with them. It's not just they call themselves a film production company, and it's just them and their dog in the back, doing editing. It's actually, to me, it's like it means like you actually have people on board, that you can rely on, which is, I think, is probably everybody it's in the business. They hear, or at least listen to this show anyway. They hear that over and over and over and over, and that is to be responsible and to be reliable. And if you can do those two things, you have a very good chance of succeeding in this business.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah. Being reliable is a big thing. Sorry to interject, but I just want to say being reliable is a huge thing. Big respect and honor to the actors and directors, writers, everyone in the industry below the line who show up. when they're supposed to, where they're supposed to, because Alex knows, you know, he was out in LA for a while. I'm from LA, did some stuff out there, and you know, that city is huge. It's rife with fickle people, you know, that
Yes.
flaky, you know, people, and it's
Right.
kind of hard to film stuff out there.
Yeah, it
Oh,
really
yeah.
is.
Size of the production.
It's funny because here we are. We're talking about Curry Barker and Mr. Keene from
Right.
from the YouTube, and right away already that there like once there's something to be made, once there's a profit being made, instantly Hollywood always chases after they're always chasing after the bus.
Yeah.
They're like they're the little dog that hears the bus and they want to catch up, so they run after it because so that's been since the beginning of the time. If something's hot, like, hey, runaway buses are hot. All right, well, I want us to make a movie just like that. And before you know it, there's 20 movies made by people running after the bus. That's how
Right.
it works, right?
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
capture lightning in a bottle. But and you're right, it's about the audience. They're fickle, they don't know what they want to do. Should we
Right.
chase after the bus, or should we allow ourselves to be driving the bus? Who knows? What does the crowd think? But it isn't always
Right.
necessarily a good thing to follow the crowd. It's a good thing to be a pioneer, but not necessarily being far behind. And
Absolutely.
Lady Valerie is here with us, saying hello to Gabriel, Alexander, John, Paul, Ringo. I mean, Ruckus, and Drew. All
I didn't know
right.
whether to put my real name or not. I was confused.
No, man, Ruckus is all right. I like it. It's tight.
I like it.
All right,
I'm gonna name my son Ruckus.
Let's go on over there. Let's just cause a little ruckus over here.
That's my little ruckus right there, man.
So, Paul, tell us a little. You just touched upon a little bit about you worked in LA. So, introduce yourself and tell us a tiny little bit about how you got into this business.
Sure. Paul Askadal from Torrance, California. I lived in New York, was out there for 9/11, did some film stuff out there. Had my first feature film out there, and then moved to Colorado. Been here since 2013, and finding Alex was a godsend. Let's see, what else were you asking? Sorry.
So you guys are big.
How I got into the industry? Yeah, that was by blind luck. An ex-girlfriend of mine, she broke my heart, right? This was like out of high school. She broke my heart. I wanted nothing to do with her, and she was begging me to go with her to One Source Talent in New York City for an interview she had for modeling and stuff. And I was like, fine. I gave in, went with her. The whole time the talent agent was looking at me while he was interviewing her. When it was time to go, he asked me how tall I was, and he says, I think you have a good look, come back. And I did, and I was accepted, and the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. You want to add in the fact he asked you to whistle?
Oh, yeah, not a very good whistler.
Keep working on it. I'm sure we'll send this over to the Ruthos as soon as it's done.
It'll John, be on my shelf until I can start whistling.
John, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this business.
Right on. Thank you so much for having us on this evening, Patrick. I'm John Lansford. I was a surgeon's assistant for nearly 20 years, and in COVID occurred, I refused the vaccine and was unlawfully terminated for refusing that. And so at that point in time, I still had my GI Bill, and I asked myself, what was I talking about at the hospital, at 3 a.m.? It was this. It was movies, it was film, it was television. It was the things that allow us to have shared meaning. And I realized in that moment, that is actually what I care about the most, the stories of other people. And so I thought about it. I was like, well, what is a person who tells the stories of other people? What is that job called? I think it's called a documentarian. And so I decided to use my GI Bill to go back to school, to go to film school, or at least the closest approximation of it that exists here in Colorado Springs. And through a very fortunate series of events, I crossed paths with Alexander and realized that I had found the person that, I wish he'd been my best friend my whole life. Our interests could not be more aligned. And he's into the same, nerdy video games that I'm into on the
Yeah.
level that I'm into them.
Matching each other.
Yes.
So
And
what's your Twitch handle?
yeah, right. But yeah, so I graduated from that film program this past May, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right, let's do it. And so I've been taking pictures for a little bit, and I put them all in a centralized place, and started up the LLC, and now I'm doing it. I go out, meet clients, shoot things for them, make them cool videos, and every day, every time I talk with Alexander, I feel like I'm one step closer, to actually living this dream. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for having us on this evening.
Oh, thank you for being here. Drew, I was just watching. I was watching you trying to put your camera together here.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And I'm going like he must be a cameraman. He's looking for the best angle here.
Of course.
But tell us a little bit about you. What do you? I'm sure you're also an actor and crew member, right?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I like that.
I'm one of the lead actors in the film. Um, I'm from New York. I'm New York based, and just getting this role was just insane. Like, this was my first film ever. So, I'm really just like a content creator. I've been doing like just small like the videos and even my own YouTube for like almost 8 years now in total, like on and off. And I just applied, and Alexander, he gave me a chance. And it's so funny that John was talking about like being so nerdy and stuff, because I feel like even in the first like call I had with Alexander, he was just talking about the film being cyberpunk, and like that's one of just my favorite genres ever. So
Yeah.
it was just so interesting for us to clash like that, like so perfectly. And even all the crew members, they're all like, we're all nerds. So we all put like our little spins and takes on how the world should be. And it was just like so fun. It was a blast, honestly.
Now, Cyber Recall, Alexander, is this based on any sort of video game or inspired by a video game?
Gosh, yeah, I'd say two of them. Oddly enough, about maybe a decade ago, one of my teachers from college, he created this company called VRX, where it was like a small storefront in a couple malls, and he had me going around helping the team learn how to like sell these virtual reality experiences. And one of the workers there called me over, and they're like, "Hey, Alexander, you gotta play this game." So I put on like one of the older Oculuses, and I play this game called Robo Recall. He's like, robots are jumping at me, and I can use like a shotgun, and it was just such a visceral experience. I put the idea to the side of like, man, I really want to make a movie about going into virtual reality and how it feels so weird that you're in this other experience, but you're also in the real world. And then, yeah, like Drew said, I love cyberpunk. I love the cyberpunk genre. I love movies like Johnny Mnemonic as a kid, the Neo movies, and these ideas of these tech, what would happen if you could put like an SD card in your neck or something. So then, yeah, it all kind of came together as an inspiration to make this cool movie about someone who goes into a video game and starts questioning what world is real.
Yeah, because that's basically what I guess Johnny Mnemonic was a like a precursor to the Matrix.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was it was ironic that both stars Keanu Reeves too.
I was going to say, they couldn't even bother to find a new actor.
No,
we want him. We want him.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
All we have to do is just limit his. Did you ever notice about this about Keanu Reeves? I love Keanu Reeves movies, but good Lord, they don't ever let him talk in his movies. If you watch the John Wick movies, someone posted this out. They showed the 4 movies, and every movie he talked less with each one.
That's crazy.
It's like not more, but less. It's like, okay, well, we had 200 words for your last movie, but that's probably a little bit too much. We'll knock it down to 125 this time.
It's
Whoa.
because he's told everyone he wants to get out of the industry, right?
Yeah.
And they just keep attacking him. He's like, I'm sick of this. No talk, no more talk.
No more.
It's
Yeah.
action time. Like,
Just
let me kick your ass. Leave me alone.
Keanu Reeves is one of those actors that can just stand there and he'll be fine.
Yeah. He didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
And Ruckus down there, I didn't forget about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in this into this business.
You're
I'm just
on
kidding.
mute,
So
Isaiah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right. So my name's Isaiah. I actually met Alexander through a friend probably like 6, 7, maybe even 8 years ago. Like it was a long time ago. I was working at Best Buy and she was working at Apple and she introduced us. She was like, "You're an actor. He's a film director. You guys should be friends." So I was like, you know what? Yeah. And yeah, I've done acting very similar to Drew, just off and on, like content creating, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, you name it. I've done like certain videos where I've gone viral. Nick Cannon put me on his TV show and a whole bunch of like different things. I actually just got back from Atlanta probably a couple months ago from doing from being a background extra on a Tyler Perry movie called Why Did I Get Married Again? And a show coming out called Diara from Detroit. So
Right.
I'm a background extra on those two. So that's pretty exciting. And then after that, I was immediately hitting up Alexander like, when's part 2 of Robo Recall, man? We gotta, Cyborg Recall, because I also played Robo Recall. I love that game a lot. I have a virtual reality. And when he just told me that Cyborg Recall was like similar to like Robo Recall and told me like in one of my favorite movies, Ready Player One, when he just told me like those movies combined together, I was like, I'm in. Like, let's do it. Like, let's. And then he told me about Ruckus. I was automatically into it. I met Drew, and I was just like, this is going to be it for sure. We connected immediately. Like, it was fun. Like, this is going to be a good one. I'm excited. Very excited.
I'm glad you guys have so much energy because I've been doing this for a little while now, and it used to be, and it's really interesting. I'll tell you why. Because who I had on the show here last week. So I've always thought that the hardest film to make for a filmmaker, especially indie filmmakers, are anthologies. Anthologies, man. I mean, you got 4 or 5 different stories being made by 4 or 5 different productions, and they all, like, okay, here's the central thing. It has to be in everybody's story, and that is a cantaloupe. So every story is based around a cantaloupe. So write your story, film your story, cast your story, and then have it come in. But it has to sort of like go with the other ones, like it can't be like, well, we're gonna ban all cantaloupes in the first 5 seconds of the movie, and that's the end of it. It's like, okay, all right, great. 48-hour challenge, done. But you know what I'm saying, right? So to me, trying to get the wraparound story, I always felt like that was the hardest thing to do. I just felt like it was the hardest story to film because there's so many different voices coming out from all different directions. Yeah. But I have changed my mind about that. And Alexander, maybe you can you can yay or nay me on this, but I think video games are not the hardest thing to do.
Yeah,
I think they're even worse than they're even harder to make than superhero movies.
Oh yeah. I mean, think about mapping that whole thing out. You got gameplay on one side. You've got, anything from how do you do the logistics, putting weapons, armor, and then you got story. You got the cut story. You got to bring the actors in to do the cut story. You have to somehow put it all together. Then you got all these different teams working together to build this thing. Like, we're talking about a film, and yeah, a film is a whole village, a whole community to make the artwork. But it's even bigger when you talk about a video game because you got people doing certain colors on their outfits. I think of this game Kingdom Come. I watched this video where they said they had to study a certain time period to figure out their wardrobe and whether certain things should be in that time period or not. Those are so many different teams of people doing all this research and creating these things and coming together. That's that is a labor of love from, yeah, from an entire community of people. And you're right, that might be probably one of the most difficult things to bring together and create and then
And
put out in the world.
well, to me, what's that's all good what you said about behind the scenes, but what
Yeah.
makes it really hard is when you roll it out to the public, because all
Ooh,
that hard work, all that and all those hours, all everything, it doesn't matter worth squat if you roll it out there and the fans are just sitting there going to town on it.
gosh, yeah.
I
That's
think
so true.
the difficulty with video games as opposed to movies is just the sheer amount of time that you spend with the property.
Oh yeah.
A viewer may spend 2.5 hours with a movie, and that's their entire experience of it. But a
Yeah.
video game can be 80 to 100 hours, and every one of those hours has to hit at the same level of quality as
Yeah.
hour
Right.
one.
It's
Right.
Otherwise, you
yeah.
feel like it's a terrible game.
I was gonna say, like, sorry to cut you off. You're almost just like having to relive an experience you relived while being that engaged in the experience and stuff like that. It's hard because it's hard when you play video games. You are the character. You are the one
Yeah.
discovering, exploring, finding everything, and then now you got to give it a perspective. Like, hey, come explore what we just explored in
Right.
80 hours, 100 hours of gameplay.
Gosh,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right.
yeah,
I mean, because you saw a couple of years. Well, there's been two movies that have come out in the last couple of years that even Markiplier, who made Iron Lung, initially his movie came out okay, came out, but then all of a sudden now you saw the audience slowly like sort of go away from it because it just wasn't that well received.
Sure.
The initial surge was there for sure, but the more people went and saw it, all of a sudden you started hearing people talk about the video game, going like, yeah, even though it was the creator who filmed it and starred in it, even though it was the creator, you still had the fans sitting on the outside saying, wow, that there's things missing from it.
Dang.
My question to you is why, especially since video games are such big budgeted features, what was behind the reasoning of taking on a video game for a film? I mean, there's a lot of reward, but there's a lot of chance of failure too with the public. So what drove you to take that chance? Was it just 100% confidence in the cast and crew?
Gosh, I when I first sat down, when I write a screenplay, I start with index cards and I have index of each beat of each scene. And the first probably 3 months, I kind of drove myself crazy because I was like, what is all encompassing in video games? And I had everything up on my index card on the wall, from racing games to side by side fighting games like Street Fighter. Like, there's so many games and so many different ways to honor video games, even to like, I had sticky notes on some cards that said glitches, like glitches become a thing where they're popular, where it's not something that they worked on or smoothed out. It's something that just became popular because it's a glitch. And yeah, it was really overwhelming. And then I kind of like sat back and said, what is it that would make this interesting? And I do think that Drew will tell you that I think one of the coolest parts is that he's actually wearing the majority of the cameras, and we're basically following him around as the avatar for most of the time that he's in the virtual reality game. And a lot of questions that I got early on is like, how are you going to CGI or motion graphic the being in the video game? And then I watch everyone's face change when I tell them that it's going to be live action, and I can see the person's thinking through, how on earth are you going to show me that you're in a video game in live action? And that was one of the hardest parts, is showing the team that when Drew had to wear the helmet, the 360 camera on his back, the snorri cam on his chest, and you cut between these perspectives. So often did people want to just yank the camera off the actor and be like, well, do an over the shoulder shot. And I had to protect it and be like, no, 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 he's got to wear it because it's going to give you this really weird experience. Then I've been showing people these first couple of scenes that you cut together, and their first reaction is like, wow, it feels like you're in the video game from the third person, and he's got his health bar and the navigation on there, and then you cut to his POV, and you're Drew did an incredible job of, especially because I like the idea that he's an influencer. He understood he's wearing the camera, and he puts us with him through the experience when he's showing you in the POV. So I think what really sold me was the idea that if you're on the along for the ride whenever you're inside the video game and it's live action, and because he's wearing the cameras, that's going to give you that enthralled feeling that you get when you play a game, but in a movie perspective. So then that, I don't know if you want to call it confidence, but maybe that idea alone was, I was like, you know what, I'm going to stand behind it and let's just make a movie about that.
Yeah, because I'm really curious because earlier this year they released a big budget movie for the Mortuary's Assistant.
Yep, yep.
That movie is bonkers in all the right ways. In all the right ways, it hit. And I'm actually one of the few people that openly will say that because I'm not a game player. I'm just a film fan. But
Sure.
I watched Borderlands. I watched it. I loved it. I thought Borderlands was pretty freaking amazing, but because I was not a player, and that's what everybody would sit there and say when I sit there and say I liked it a lot, they would
Right.
look at me sideways because they're like, "Yeah, but you don't understand what you're not seeing." I'm
Right.
going like, "Well, I don't know, because and you try to tell people this, like, look, when they come out with when they make movies like this, they just can't market it directly toward just one group of players. You can't
Right.
market your movie just for the one, otherwise you're not going to make a lot of money doing it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
have to be able to go to you have to be able to go to the audience and sit there and say that's new to the game. Like I didn't know anything about the Mortuary's Assistant. After the movie was over, I not only did, but I was curious to see how the game was played. I think it's brilliant though that you have Isaiah and Drew in here that are gamers that will, do you guys have input? Do you input, Alexander? Did you welcome their input
Oh,
to you about
Can I
how the
answer
game
that question?
Sure.
Alexander is actually amazing. Like I actually would have thought, like, because you hear about directors and stuff being like stern about what they write. Like they don't want nothing else. They want to hear that and want to see that. Alexander was like, if it feels right, do it. If it feels good, say it. He just like, of course, he just let me know like cussing. Yeah. But if anything else feels right, if anything else feels good, if it feels natural, he was like, say it, use it. We'll see how it feels. And I can say now, me and Drew definitely like played around with a lot of like messing around with the lines, maybe even changing some stuff. But we kept a lot of his like what he wrote in it. But we definitely changed up some stuff. But Alexander was very, very open with that, and that was very like that made me even want to do the movie even more. I'm like, so you're telling me if I have an idea, I can actually do it and like show you? He was like, yeah. I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, now
That's
honestly, I agree so much. Like, just going into my first film, like I would really think that like the director is very like cutthroat. You know what I mean? Like whatever he says kind of goes, and this is my script. But as Ruckus was saying, like it was really the complete opposite. There were certain scenes where like I'll speak to Alexander, I'm like, hey, I feel like if I was a gamer, I would say it like this, or I would do certain things like that. Or if we're doing an action scene, it would be cool if you do it from this angle too, and show this aspect of it. Because like he said, it wasn't just like first person; it was also 360. So it's like not only what I'm seeing, it's what the people are seeing in the background as well.
Yep.
So it was just so many scenes that I wouldn't even say would improvise, but would just tweak just to make it feel more engaging for like us as the cast members and also the audience. So it was very like everybody had their own little input on it, which made the project even better, honestly, at the very end.
Yeah.
this is such a really I'm really excited for you guys for Cyber Recall because man, I can't wait to see the reaction to it. Let's talk a
Same.
little bit about how you got made up wearing the cameras and where did they put them on you? I mean, how many cameras were on you at one time? And what was it like? Was it hard to shoot
It
with all those
yo,
cameras that were on you?
that was like that was a task.
He's like, I
It
was
was a
ready to
task.
kill this guy.
It
That's
was
it.
so, but like I look so sick too. Like I have this really cool black armor that was like hand custom made by Alexander and the crew, and it was like it was so fun. But like in the casting area, like in the shooting area, it was just so hot.
It
So
was
it's like,
so damn hot.
oh my gosh. So I'm like running.
Prosthetic was slipping off.
like it was insane. It was insane. We're like running through the forest. We're moving around. We're like, interacting with everybody, and it's just like I have a camera in front of my face, and I'm like trying to like run and make sure it stays stable. I had a camera behind me and everything, so I'm trying to be also aware of my surroundings as I'm moving, so I don't hit anybody. And it was just so it took a lot to get used to. Like by the first shot, like by the first couple shots, it was just like it was really just alien to me. I'm like, wow, it's like 3 different cameras. I have to learn how to use certain props and just things like that. But then as it kept on going on, it got more and more easier. And I feel like it was really necessary to show the game world like a real like game, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
It's cool that he says that we were doing like test audience viewings of some of those scenes, right? And you were talking about video games and honoring what people love about video games, and I keep getting told that I'm overloading the scene with too much on the HUD. People want me to strip it down because they love seeing Drew move around in the forest, and now we're having to come up with ideas in post where the basically the compass is up only for a time being, or a notification shows him that he needs to go there, but we don't necessarily need it all over the frame. Whereas, if you go and look at some footage, or you watch on YouTube someone actually playing a full walkthrough of a game, it's overloaded with information on. Yeah, exactly.
Oh
So
God, yeah.
it's interesting when you think about film that actually the audience kind of wants you to strip it down and give it to you, kind of bare bones, because they don't need all that information because they're not really interacting, they're just watching. But really, then
Right.
it comes down to like what Drew and Isaiah are talking about, is that they're running around interacting. You see his hand pick up something, and you're involved. You feels like it's VR. It's where the headset would be, and that's all them kind of just creating that with the camera themselves.
Did you guys ever see a movie called Hardcore Henry?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was
Is
a
this
great
is this
movie.
is that a movie? Is that a movie? Is that something like in my scene in my mind's eye? I'm sort of seeing Drew in the
Oh
as
wow.
Henry.
Yeah, see,
Is that what we're going to see in
So
the film? We're going to see that
hardcore
kind of actor?
Hardcore Henry was an entirely first person
Yep.
perspective film. This will
Yes.
not be entirely first person.
It cuts
Okay.
between some shots, but it will feel very similar. I
Right
studied it, and I sent that link to people often on the crew to say, here's kind of the feel and the vibe that we're going for. And it's funny that you brought up that movie, because I actually told my wife after watching it that I felt sometimes like I was too locked into the POV and I wanted to get out of it. So that's what gave me the idea to cut around to these two other perspectives, where you got the Snorri cam view of his reactions. Because sometimes when I was watching Hardcore Henry, I wanted to see what he was reacting when he saw something. So that's why we came up with the idea to put it up, the Snorri cam, to see Drew's reactions. And then the 360 camera was just, all too often, if I played games like The Division, or there's plenty of games where you're in that third person perspective, and I just really kind of enjoy that third person perspective when when you're running around with the joystick.
Yeah.
And that in itself was an experiment, because I remember when 360 cameras first came out, and they showed me that it'll delete the center of the frame where the pole is holding the camera. And that was kind of around the time that I had just finished up that job with the virtual reality. And I always had the idea, if I'm going to do something in virtual reality, I got to stick the 360 camera in there. And yeah, just so you'll have a similar experience to Hardcore Henry, but you're just cutting around to these other perspectives as well.
Okay.
And
I thought the best thing about the cut around and Hardcore Henry, well, I mean, that was Haley Bennett, of course, but
if I may,
I had to bring up that because go ahead.
I was gonna say Alex and the crew, who put the cameras together and the ideas of it. Like I saw the proof of concept and the test shots with the different cameras, and it looked phenomenal. I was like, put me in this film right now. I want to be a part of this magic. Like, it looks amazing, Patrick. I can't wait for you to see it.
I can't either. I think you guys are. I think it's. I have never seen independent production take on a project that, if you tell most people what you're doing, trying to do, they instantly are starting to think $10 million. Something like that. Something like the same budget, like Back Rooms or something, or higher, to
Obsession.
be
You're
able
gonna
to
be just
do
like
this.
that.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God. If we get like Obsession, oh my gosh, that movie was amazing. And I love that you brought
And
up
this, yes,
Iron
Obsession
Lung
was
too.
crazy. I thought of Alexander immediately once I saw who the director was, because I was watching that actor, the best friend of Bear, the main actor, and the director. I've known of them for years. I watched them on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook all the time. Like, and he was very funny to me. So when I found out it was him, immediately thought about Alexander. I was like, we're next.
Let's go.
We're next.
We're next. Let's go.
Now, this is a very technical film too. I mean, highly technical. This is, like I said, this is way above what normally we see for independent films. Most of the time, we see drama or maybe thrillers, but we're not seeing a movie based on a video game from independent filmmakers. And now I want to go to Gabriel, because this is your first film. This is not the norm. You mean you walking onto a set doing for kind of this movie? This is not. Generally, it's like, okay, we're going to go ahead and slash our girl over here, and then our monster's going to run over there. That's it's what you get for most indie horror. It's like, put some blood on them. But now here you are doing a adaptation of a video game, and now it's your first set. So what was it like for you to walk onto the first set and see all the cameras, see all the makeup, like all the technical? I mean, how was it overwhelming to you? And how did you adjust to the set life?
Absolutely, Patrick. I think when you first walk in, you're initially startled by kind of the take of what's going on. Well, I apologize if that's me, my bad. But you really do kind of go off and you really get startled by like the initial cook of things and kind of how everything's working. And it was really cool to walk in to see the behind the scenes. I think as somebody who's never done it, you're used to just the end product, kind of what they finish, all of the tweaks, all of the adjustments, things like that in a film. And then you kind of just get that end look. And it was really cool to come into something and really kind of experience it firsthand, to be like, wow, this is really the adjustments that are made, or these are really where you can kind of pause within your, maybe as an actor, like your lines where, hey, I have a little bit more give into what I'm doing kind of as an actor into this role. I think the biggest thing that really impressed me, though, I have to say, was the behind the scenes, the directing part of it. I really liked seeing John and Alexander kind of just hands on. Everything was creative. It's been so far just, hey, let's work with this. Let's play with this aspect. Hey, let's change this angle, lighting, this. And just there's so much you can do when you kind of walk in. Initially, yes, you kind of have that nervousness. I think I was more nervous than anything, just not messing up lines, trying not to mess up those things. Hey, I've never really done this role. But it was really refreshing and enlightening to kind of come into a role in a team that has a little bit of, I would say, confidence in what they're doing. Like you said, it's a big task that they're putting on their shoulders, but there's a confidence there. And I really kind of see that every time we've filmed, every time we've adjusted into things, every word of feedback coming to them, they're so open to. And it's really cool to see the adjustments from, say, like the actor to the director, going back to like Drew's point and stuff like that, where he's like, sometimes you see directors just so stern to what they want and how they want that image to look. And it was really refreshing to kind of give a little bit of our take and play with things. Obviously, coming from video games, you're seeing the script, you're seeing what we're doing, and you're excited about the ambition of the goal and what we're essentially creating at the end of the day, the image. And I'm excited. I was really excited to see kind of what the ideas behind it and how you could make that into a real world situation.
Paul, what about you? Your experience on the set? I mean, you've had some experience on other films, being in LA, New York. What was your first impression when you walked onto a set? Did you just feel like it was just? Did you feel like it was within like we could do this, or did you ever feel like this is a little bit, maybe this is a little bit too ambitious for production?
Well, that's the thing with Alex. He's always ambitious. He's top notch, and I'm behind him all the way. I love his ideas. I love his films. He's a great person, amazing person. But when I came on set, I'm always excited to work with whoever I work with, and with the prosthetics we had, the contact lenses for my character and Drew's character. It was really hot. The days we were there, it was hot, and
Yeah, you guys are based in Colorado.
yes, and we were up in the mountains filming this, and we had a full head to toe stuff on, long sleeve, the prosthetics, the contacts, constantly moisturizing the contacts, and trying to remember your lines, emote it, act it out. So yeah, I wouldn't say this was too ambitious. It was very ambitious, and I was all for it. I'm like, I'm here, let's do this. And seeing Drew work, Drew, it's great to see you again, brother. Seeing Drew work with the different cameras and his lines, and still being in the moment, in his character, doing his character, portraying it while he's got the cameras on. It's very akin to a huge Marvel or DC project where you have nothing but green screen, and then maybe somebody holding a stick with the monster's head high up, that you have to visualize that's the monster, that's where it is, that's how big he is. It was kind of akin to that. So seeing Drew do his thing with his craft with the cameras everywhere, and not break character, that was really fun, really cool to see.
How many people did you take with you, Alexander, for the
I think you're muted.
set?
I can't hear you.
How many people were with you for the crew on the set when you guys were shooting out in the mountains? How much crew did you take with you? Because that seems to me like it'd be very labor intensive.
I think for when we were on the mountains, all 3 shoots, I think we were sitting around 20 people. And we had to stay out there and sleep out there. So we're getting up really early in the morning. They're having to put all the gear on, the prosthetics. I tried to have Adalia on here. She's our production designer, but she had a really tough time with trying to keep those prosthetics still looking the way that they need to. Often we had to stop and say we need to have Adalia check everything before we keep going.
She did
Drew
a fantastic job, by the way.
She did hair. Drew and Adalia came up with this really cool hairstyle, and we had to remember, to put the band in the hair and to check everything. And one thing that you can't think about is that, like, Adalia tells me to just get the contact lenses, and then we're out there and everyone's like, my eyes are so dry. So you run into all these different different obstacles while you're out there trying to create these design things. And it's really interesting to have to run into those things, find solutions, work through it. Another big one is that we had to find different areas in the forest, because they didn't want it to look like he keeps spawning into the same part of the forest. So then you're trying to find those different areas, those locations, and hike over to those spots, bring the props and everything that we're using, set up the set there. So yeah, being out there and creating that version of the video game world was intense. An intense 3 shoots during the summer.
And it was very it was great that we had everyone wear different hats, and we all helped each other out, carried stuff.
Yeah.
Go get this, go get that. That helped a lot, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Production.
It sounds like you guys just have a extremely tight crew. It looks like we're having trouble with Isaiah, having him stay on. You can keep trying, Isaiah. I'll keep adding you, but sometimes it does get a little bit bumpy out there on the west side. Trying to get back on. Happen. If you can get back on, just keep trying. If not, you can come back to the chat. All right. So we're talking about Cyborg Recall, but this is like a culmination of Alexander and the future of film productions. This is your latest and greatest. But you've also, to me, I watched a few of the movies, and and I can see the growth. It's something that you want to see from a production company. It's just like to see growth. Okay, he is. I'm gonna go with that one.
There we go.
There it is. Hey.
Oh, gosh, I don't know what was going on.
It's.
I was watching
it's-
everything though. I heard it all.
Oh, okay, good.
All right, I'm back. I can hear you guys now.
So,
Interesting.
now, how many of you? I mean, I know some of you. This is your first time
I
working
can't seem
with
to hear
Alexander.
anybody else though. Hold on.
Go. Test. There we go.
I-
I think we're back. We were all frozen for a second.
Oh yeah,
Let's see.
good old StreamYard. Always good for a glitch. So this for many of you, this is your first movie that you worked with Alexander, but this is not Alexander's first movie. And so I want to talk a little bit about the films that you've started. Your first feature film you did was I Call First, right?
I think we might have lost Alexander. He
Yeah, we might have
Did we?
lost
gotten
Oh
disconnected
no.
right as he
Oh
started
man,
leading into
I
that.
I
But to
Oh,
answer your
man,
question, I
maybe-
believe you're right. It's on his poster right behind him.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I know
How
personally.
many of you how many
Personally what?
movies have you worked with Alexander on?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
supposed to do rattle cans with Alexander, but
Days.
that was my fault. I didn't text back quick enough, and me and like the communication was just horrible on my side. Oh, Alexander.
Oh, okay.
All right, I can hear you guys now.
Okay, good. I was gonna talk a little bit about building
hear
up
him?
to where you were with Cyber Recall, because
yeah.
the movies that you've done so far, you have I Call First, you have Downriver, which looks to be like a action thriller.
Oh.
The Directive looks to be also another thriller. Rattle Can, that's the movie that I watched, and that was a drama. Where did
gosh.
did he disappear again?
I think John left us.
It's like whack-a-mole at this
Alright.
point.
It is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Patrick, I wasn't able to hear you. Can you ask me the question one more time if I can
Sure.
hear you? Let's see.
Let's see. Let's see.
Mean echo.
Yeah, someone's echoing.
I'm guessing is Ruckus? Question mark?
I'm about to leave and come back because why am I on here twice?
Because because. Well, I'll tell you.
Just leave.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll get rid of this one. That should help us out. Okay.
Cool.
All right, you there? Let me see about Alexander.
It's the beauties of technology. I
Can
feel
you guys hear me now?
Yes. I know
Yes,
we're having more
sir.
technical. We're having more technical problems than Cyber Recall. All right. Okay. There's Alexander. Whoop. There's Isaiah. Okay, I'm gonna remove that one from the stage because I see you're here. Are you frozen? Oh my gosh, you're frozen. Okay. I have Isaiah 3 times on here.
Oh.
he keeps leaving
Okay.
and coming back in.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I think he's frozen.
And then I lost
Okay.
Alex and John too.
And Alexander's back. All right. Let's see. Add the stage.
All right.
Okay. Is Alexander back with us? All right.
He's back.
Okay. No, I feel like I'm on the set of The Exorcist or something like that. Okay, so Alexander, my question was this: Cyber Recall has been building up to a previous body of work. You've done several feature-length films, and let's talk a little bit about those films and how they have led you up to this point in time. As far as improving? What have you done that have like differently from every movie from the next? Some of the lessons that you've taken with you. So tell us a little bit about. Now I know some of you guys this is your first film with Alexander, but I will come back to you. But the first movie that you did that as far as feature length goes was I Call First.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about that.
Gosh,
Uh,
go ahead.
Now you had also done some short films as well.
Yeah.
So were short films, was that did you learn? Because I always looked at that's just the best. Oh, okay, see, he's trying to come back. Okay, John is coming. Let's see. I have John on.
Got John.
On stage.
Yeah.
The stage.
There we
Okay.
go. There we go.
Hey,
All
all
right.
right.
Whole
We
Very
got this.
nice.
squad.
The squad.
All right.
All right. So as far as the movies go, like the first one was I Call First, and then you have a bunch of short films. Now, have you always been based in Denver? And if so, is this where your short films were? Did you get your start in it as far as as far as short films go? How did that go for you? How many films did you make before you went
Gosh.
ahead and made your first feature film?
So I think, well, I first got really into filmmaking because at 10 years old, my uncle had invited me over to his studio and we made a stop motion film when I was very little. And to me, that was the first time that I realized, because in stop motion, we were taking just single images and editing them together to make motion. And I think as a child, being so young, I realized for the first time that everything I had been watching was one frame at a time. And then I got infatuated with it, and he gave me the camera that we use, and I ran around, probably to my family's demise, filming everything. And then I joined the army, and when I got into the army, I had all these film books that I was ordering online. I was studying film, and finally, some of the guys in the barracks go, "Are you going to just sit around reading about film, or are you going to make something?" So then we made this really funny short film called The Incredible Thug in like 2008. And it was basically some really nerdy guy who's walking out to his car, and this gangster goes and punks him for his keys to steal his car. And the nerdy guy, like the Incredible Hulk, starts to transform and he becomes a gangster himself and punks the other guy back. And we were just having fun. I figured if we did something funny, it would be a good way of practicing filmmaking. So we put it
Sure.
on YouTube, and if you remember YouTube around 2007, 2008, it was basically a bunch of cat videos and stuff that was
Still is.
popular. Yeah, yeah, it's true. And so someone reached out to me from this company called Funny or Die, and they sent me this website, and it was in beta. If you know what that website is,
Right. And
and
I
they
know Funny or Die too.
at the
Nice.
time, basically they just stuck two YouTube videos up against each other, and people would either be like die and then it's off the competition, or they click funny. And it just kept going and going and going for months, and it ended up going super viral before we even used that word. And I go down to this training in Fort Gordon, Georgia, and there's this officer up front giving us this training about logistics, and he goes, "Hey, I'm gonna I'm gonna do an icebreaker of the some video these stupid privates made in the army." And he plays the video, and I'm in the back going, "Oh man, I'm the stupid private this guy's making fun of right now." So I kind of realized for the first time, very young, I think I was about 18, that if I brought people together to tell a story and we put it online, that you can reach this mass amount of people. And there was like, it was somewhere around 500,000 views when we eventually took it down before I went to film school. So then from there, I decided I wasn't going to stay in the army. I was going to go do something in film, and I was going to go study it, use my GI Bill, similar to how John was describing. And so I went to film school back to where I was born and raised in Los Angeles. And similar to what Paul was talking about, you walk into this massive ocean of people that want to do the exact same thing. And I ran into a gentleman named Kurt Wimmer, who's a filmmaker. I'm not sure, Patrick, if you've seen any of his work, He's a writer too, and he kind of told me when I went up to him and I kind of, I was a little too confident and I was saying that, I make movies like certain directors and all this stuff, and he kind of said, "Who the heck knows that?" basically to me. And we were at the in the bar in the American Legion on Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm sitting there like, well, gosh, I just got called out by a filmmaker who I really like, and he basically said, You can't just say that you make movies; you got to show that you make movies." So
Right.
then,
Right.
when I was there, I made the bulk of those short films that you're talking about, leading all the way up to Life Lessons, and if you look at them, I was kind of pushing more from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 30 minutes, and then, it's funny we're talking about back rooms. Mark Duplass came and watched Life Lessons in LA County Museum of Art and LACMA, and he kind of pushed me to go listen to Mark Duplass speak in college. So I went to one of his speeches where that was the first time I ever heard someone basically use the term micro budget filmmaking. And that's where I kind of started to realize that what they were telling me is use the same amount of budgets on the shorts and figure out how to spread out your runtime and make a feature out of it. So the guy who I went to go watch the Mark Duplass speak, his name was Jason. He was from Montana, and he had this story of coming into age story of these kids growing up in Denver, where he grew up. And he basically tells me after this, after we just listened to Mark Duplass speak, he goes, if I just PayPal you $4,000, can you go make a movie with it? And I was like, whoa, that was the first time anyone ever offered for me to make a feature. And so I kind of looked at the script, and I realized that it's very ambitious thing to do, right out of film school, to just make a feature. So then
Yeah.
I liked a lot of filmmakers like John Cassavetes, where they just kind of stuck the camera up there and they had the actors kind of play it out, and it feels a little bit more like a documentary. So I figured I can do something like that. I don't have the best camera, I don't have all these lights right now, but I can bring together a bunch of people. And it's really cool to have Gabe on the call, because when I first moved here with that $4,000, I ended up meeting his older brother, Nick. And Nick actually ended up being in the film, but he also showed me all around all of Denver to find these locations to put Nikon first. I also met Paul Askadal while I was going to school there as well. And I met this incredible community of creatives who wanted to make something. So I really stuck to that mentality on iCall first, that it was going to feel very much like a John Cassavetes, low budget kind of like documentary feel feature film. And we ended up screening it in the theater, and everyone had such a huge reaction to it. And my films are kind of, they're usually an anti-hero, and they have harsh endings, and they kind of make you think about bad decisions versus good decisions, all the way up to Cyborg Recall. And everyone in the audience was so, up in the air about, why did he do that? And why did he treat the girl like that?
Yeah.
And why did the friends do the
Yeah.
peer pressure? Then I just realized that that was kind of, they say, how do you find your style or your brand, or what makes you, your type of filmmaker, film director?
Right.
And I really kind of realized that that's what I do. And then, everyone sits me down and they screen this, everyone at college at the time, they say, you got to watch this movie on YouTube. It's Kubrick's first movie, and it ended up going in public domain. So, Kubrick's one of my favorite filmmakers, but I've never seen this film before. So we sit down and we watch Fear and Desire, and it's in the 50s. It's black and white. It's kind of comedic how he directed it. He definitely had a lot of World War I and World War II inspiration. And being in the military, being in the army, I have my era of us going to war and the type of gear and what we saw in the military, that we ended up making Downriver. And I basically took whatever was in Fear and Desire, and I kind of like meshed a bunch of other things in there, a bunch of war films and stuff that I liked, and created this other film. And we that's also, I would say, lended itself really heavily to Cyborg Recall, because that was the first time we went out and we spent 4 days and 4 nights up on the Poudre River up here in northern Colorado, and filmed the whole thing in 4 days and 4 nights. And so when I originally sat down to map out making Cyborg Recall, it was similar. It was 3 shoots over the summer of us having to kind of be out in the mountains. And as you're kind of hearing it, it was kind of tough. It's hot. you got to wake up in the morning out of the tent, and you're eating breakfast. Drew sometimes was looking at me like, man, we're in for a long day here, having to having to do this. And that was the first time I tested that was with Downriver, and it was very similar. I got a little sick at the end, and I had a fever on the very last night of filming. And it's funny because whenever I watch the end of Downriver, it feels feverish to me that it's got this really cool montage at the end.
I have a
And
question. I
go
have a
ahead.
question for you, and that is, when you're saying how your endings are and how you did your endings, are you? I take it. Are you a big fan of the '70s? I mean,
Oh yeah,
that was the era of movies where they had a lot of doom and gloom as well.
oh
Um,
yeah.
is that generally how as a filmmaker through your lens, is that how you generally see the world today? Do you see it as a sort of a doom and gloom?
Sometimes I feel like I like those movies because it makes me think about the person I want to be. Like, when I watched Taxi Driver, I was really young and I was in the military, and it was about a veteran, and it was such a dark film. I started to think about my morality and my ethics and the decisions I make in my walk of life. And I really like movies like that. Uh, so even like I remember sitting in the barracks during basic training. We watched The Deer Hunter, and that was the first time I ever saw that film, and I was just so impacted about how real they felt, and they were making mistakes, but they cared about each other. They all had to go to war. So I like the idea that I think that the way my endings are is they're kind of asking you more the question, how do you feel about it? Like Downriver is obviously an anti-war film, and I've had really interesting hate mail from various people who watch it about how they don't like that I'm a military veteran, but I showed war in kind of a horrible light, and said that basically we're paying for war and blood. And I think that really it's just asking the audience, how do you feel about that? And if it made you feel kind of uncomfortable at the end of the movie, why did it make you feel uncomfortable? What type of world would you like to see? I think that's similar in Cyborg Recall. I don't want to give away the ending because it has this kind of Black Mirror twist. But even like Duffle Bag Boy is a crime film, and he's a criminal all the way to the very end. And you kind of ask yourself, sometimes in the American dream, do people lose their morality or their ethics in the decisions or the things that they're after, trying to
Right.
get these, so I like the idea of the film asking you that question, and leaving you with that
There's
idea
been some
of,
great movies like that. I mean, there's been
yeah, who are
some
you?
terrific movies with some great endings. When you're talking to me about that, I'm thinking about one movie that sticks with me about how we follow a young man and the choices that he makes, and then and we're here in the first narrative, so we're thinking that we're thinking like, okay, he's gonna, he's talking us through his life, and then at the end of it, we're gonna see how he redeemed himself and went on to his way. But instead, we hear him talking, and he ends up basically getting shot across his lawn, and that's a menace to society.
Oh, I
You
love
know,
that film. And
yeah,
yeah, and for
powerful film.
me, being young, I grew up in very gang oriented neighborhoods in East LA. A lot of my friends were Sureños, and my family immigrated from Mexico. So to me, growing up with them as kids, they're my family. But then, as I'm hanging out at the park, and this crime starts to happen, it feels like sometimes you become numb to it. And I think that's kind of the whole point of what films like that are asking, is the question of like, how do these things happen in our world? Why do they happen? Can we take a look at that? And then it's asking the general audience of the world, do we want to continue that world to be that way? Or do we want to see something different? And I think having that reality in front of you of these harsh things that you see make you want to wish for something better, or hope for something better out of our world.
I'm gonna let's bring in the crew on this one. I'm curious now. I'm really curious to see. I want you guys to tell me the movie that you guys have watched. What movie have you watched that has impacted you the most, as both as a human being and as a actor, or as an actor? What movie did you watch that had the most influence on you, by what you saw? We'll go with you, Gabriel.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Thanks, Patrick. I'm just actually kind of trying to think of that. I have a few films that I kind of really look at. There's Obviously, wow, man, Good Will Hunting is a really good one that you kind of look into. That's the one that I'm really looking into. Just how you see the character development of current real day-to-day life. And I think there's a real big line. Is it Ben Affleck that tells the other actor, I can't remember his name at the moment, but he's like, if you're still here when I'm doing this at this age, he's like, then I know you're not meeting the like life that you're meant to be. He's like, you're brilliant, you're this and that. And I think that in the film just really kind of showed a part of life and the true meaning of life. And, you know, from my growing up of life, I grew in a small town. I'm from a really small town in Colorado, kind of in the western slope in the mountains. And it's true when you see things like that of kind of, you know, kind of like we were talking about in the earlier in this podcast, just like taking risks and the people that you see in life and just kind of going out and doing the things that are worth kind of that ambition, you know. Excuse my language, you know, but you know, like a quiet mouth don't get fed, you know, and that's real thing. It's like if you're quiet in the real world and you're really not doing the ambition of life and you're really not taking that goal you have um to allow everybody to see it, then it kind of goes to like Alexander says, like, how are you? You know, does this make you feel uncomfortable? It's kind of something I truly relate to in my personal life of just having goals, having ambition and finding things. So I thought that was a really, really good movie to bring in real world things of like real struggles, real work. And sometimes we're stuck in like a day-to-day 9 to 5 job trying to make it through the bills and the real life and stuff that we're just like, hey, we have a bigger goal in life. We have a bigger ambition. And sometimes film, I think, can do a really good way of expressing those goals or ways people are trying to express, like, go take a leap of faith. You know, sometimes in life, you got to take that leap of faith because it is short. And in order for yourself to be successful or truly enjoy what you want to do in life, like, you got to go take that leap for sure.
Yeah.
How about you, Isaiah? Tell us a movie that has really impacted you on your life.
When it comes to acting or just in general?
And both in general and acting. What are a couple of movies that have really impacted you that, like, if I, you know, like I'm asking you and you wanted to share them with me?
Yeah. Okay. I was hoping you would ask Drew first because I was still thinking, but I can figure it out. But I would say honestly, the believe it or not, the background extra show the movie I was just on, Tyler Perry, Why Did I Get Married Again? I actually been saying since I first saw the first movie that I want to be on Why Did I Get Married? I've been saying that forever, and I've always said that I've always wanted to be on a Tyler Perry film. So I would say his movies, it definitely motivates me because it just looks like, I mean, I can see it in my future and I can just see it in there. It just looks like I can be a part of that film. So Tyler Perry films definitely make me believe, or definitely they make me feel that like, or makes me or definitely impacts my life where it makes me feel like I can definitely be out there. I can definitely do what I need to, and just I don't know, like just I just feel like when you just feel like there's like a group for you, because you got to surround yourself around people that do what you do, and that's why I love like this team right here, because it's everybody like has the same dream, has the same ideas, has the same like feel, energy. It's amazing. So I would say definitely his films make me feel like, you know what, I could be a part of this. I like it, and especially on the film when I was on the Tyler the Why Did I Get Married, the Taraji, she was there, she was talking to me a lot, and it was just really cool. So it just made me feel like I should be a part of this. This is me.
Great answer.
Yes. Lady Valerie is mentioning we need to get Michael in touch with these gentlemen. I will do that. I will definitely reach out to Michael and introduce him to Alexander and his team for sure. It's
Right.
another young filmmaker that we both know that he's actually getting ready to launch his first short. And I think it's always exciting to watch somebody creative. You know what? Let me ask you a question about Tyler Perry, because I'm a little confused with it. You know, being who I am and all that.
Go
I
ahead, go
like
ahead.
Tyler Perry, and like I saw Alex Cross, big fan. I wish they would have had a cameraman that knew what he was doing, but I liked the movie. Um,
Yes.
uh, do you think the character of Medea? Do you think that he could have gone without some of his films without that character? Was that character a bit of a distraction to what he was trying to say and try to do? Or you think that the character, because everybody loves Medea, so I always felt like sometimes he added the character into a story that maybe didn't really need that.
Yeah.
What is it? Yeah, I mean, am I wrong
I
for
would
thinking that?
so I would say the Medea. Okay, this might be a little. I don't know how to say it. Like, okay, it's like when it comes to male and female, it's called sexist. But when it comes to like race, I don't really know what to say. But I would say Medea definitely gives a lot of like us like a feeling of like how we grew up, like our grandmother, our mom, our aunties, our uncle, like the way Medea acts is definitely very similar. Like there was a scene where it's called I believe it's called Big Happy Family, and she walks up to a house where the person is like showing other people like the houses like so they can buy it, and she walks in and she's like, you know, waving through the window, and the lady ignores her, and she's like, I know you didn't have to ignore me, and she just starts getting like just loud and obnoxious. And then and then when she gets inside the house, she was like, can you please lower your voice? Like just lower your voice. And she was like, you want me to lower my voice? Okay. I need you. And she starts yelling. And it's just, it gives definitely like a feeling of like if I told my mom to mom, be quiet, she'd be like, I should be quiet. Like so so I would say the Medea, so
That sounds like my
definitely
mom.
yes.
Yeah,
So that's I'm like
that's my mom.
I would
Yeah.
say Medea is definitely a 50-50 between he added her in there because it just gives a little oomph, but he added her in there because it's relatable. That's how I feel personally.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
And
represents
I want to just
everybody's
chip in
mom
on
in there.
that too. I feel like Medea is just like Tyler Perry obviously plays Medea, and you see Medea as almost like a comic relief character, a comedic relief character, but also she's just a very strong person regardless. Like, yeah, she could come in and make these jokes and be very loud, but at the end of the time, she's really the one that's bringing everyone together at the end of the day,
Mhm.
Right.
at the end of each story. And Tyler Perry, being a producer as well as an actor, I feel like Medea helped him kind of start the career in all of his drama, really, because even now if you go on Netflix, there's a couple of shows with Tyler Perry, and it's just a bunch of drama with a bunch of different people, and he's not in it himself at this time, but I feel
Or
like being
Medea.
Medea, he's used to creating that scene, and not just creating but being in the scene itself, so he knows, okay, this is how this should go, this is how this should be, I want this character to show this version of this person, so I
Mhm.
feel like, yeah, like he needed to have that character to really help his career. Like that character is so important to Tyler Perry as a whole.
Yeah.
I agree. Without Medea, I don't think there would be a Tyler Perry.
No, I just thought maybe did he, he initially did the character to get through the door, or break the ceiling, and he did that, overwhelmingly. Everybody loves Medea. But now that that's happened, could he also turned around and he did like the Alex Cross movie, which is something he had never done before. He had always done the comedies and dramas, but there he is coming across as a major literary figure. In Alex Cross, terrific character. You guys might remember him when Morgan Freeman played him in two movies. So I mean, it's a great character. So I was just wondering, like, did Medea overstay her welcome just a tad bit because now because Tyler Perry has made it now. I mean, he's overwhelming success.
Yeah,
He's massive.
I think he just uses her now when she matches the storyline. Like for
Right.
example, for the Why Did I Get Married Again? She's not in it whatsoever. She's not referenced. There's nothing part of her whatsoever. So I
Okay.
feel like if she fits the role, he adds her in there. He throws her in there.
All right. Well, we're gonna do what Isaiah said. We're gonna go ask Drew about his couple of movies that have that have influenced him and his career. I'm looking forward to this. You guys are gonna have some real. I'm already taking some notes over here with some of the movies you guys have already mentioned. So how about you, Drew? What are a couple of movies that have impacted you both as a actor and as a human being?
Well, as a human being, I'd say, well, like in general, any movie with Will Smith. Like, I feel like he's such a really good actor. But in
Yes.
particular, there's one that's just like it's just so like real, like A Pursuit to Happiness. Like that one in particular, like
Yeah.
that one really shows like the struggle of just someone trying to achieve something. And in the movie, like he really shows like how it wasn't just happiness he wanted, like it was the pursuit and everything he went through to get to where he wanted to be. And like that movie is just so inspirational. Like even acting wise, like his acting in that film was like perfect. Like it really just showed like how the ambition, how much he really wanted it. And movies like the one it just recently came out. It's with like Timothy Chalamet too. I forgot what he's doing it, but like he's like really grinding and showing like how he wants to become the best player or something like that.
Oh, Marty Supreme.
Yes, Marty Supreme, Marty Supreme. I watched that movie a little bit. It's movies like that that's just really inspirational, just showing like the indomitable spirit like humans. But growing up though, I really watched a lot of like choreographic like karate flicks. Like
All
I
right.
feel like IP Man, Ip Man, whatever you want to call them,
Ip
like
Man,
those
yeah.
movies. Yes, bro. I love
Yeah.
those movies.
Yeah, me too.
It's just like even like old like really old just karate movies like Jackie Chan too, like he like just showing a choreographic and how they fight but it looks so realistic. Like to me that was just always really interesting. But even
Uh,
beyond that, for the movie in particular, I feel like besides just like real life movies, I really like a lot of anime too. I take a lot of inspiration from like anime, and even with this movie in particular, Akira is a really like popular animated film. And I just think that like I kind of wanted to think about like it's not really a game, but it just feels so
no.
like futuristic. You know, everything in it is just so futuristic, and I just wanted to add those qualities of like, wow, look at this bike, or oh wow, like I have to look at this laser pistol. Like this is a really cool like laser pistol, like things like that, like different aspects of the movie, you know. But
And don't forget, Kaneda.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Tetsuo!
Yeah, that's right. Akira is top of the food chain. I absolutely love that movie, man. I'm with you about that 1,000%. That movie is
And
that movie-
just an honorable
Neo
mention.
Tokyo. Yeah, I love
Um,
that.
yes, it's dope.
Oh yeah.
There's like another game too, like called Cyberpunk. It's literally just called Cyberpunk. And that
Right.
game has a show. And the show and the game just corresponds so well together. And just seeing how they built that world and just incorporate it into the game and the show at the same time is just so cool. Like it's just so like immersive. And that's really what we were going for, to
Can you
make
guys
it
hear me?
feel as immersive as
It's almost
possible.
done.
Did you bring a little bit of? Did you bring a little bit of Kira to your performance?
I definitely tried. I definitely tried. There's one
Nice,
scene where
nice.
I'm just screaming.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I really, yes, I thought of Akira in that scene.
Oh my gosh, yes. That is great. I love that. Let's go with Paul. I don't think I've talked about Paul enough in here. Paul, take the stage, man. Tell us a couple of movies that you want to shout out that have impacted you in your career.
So I'm still thinking.
Yeah.
Uh,
I got
I
first dibs, so I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, Gabriel like that. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm glad I wasn't Gabriel. He thought about that too quick.
On the spot, on the spot.
Yeah, on the spot. I would say so. What Drew mentioned, Pursuit of Happiness, and that's the one that came to mind. One of them, because I used to be homeless, dumpster diving for food in New York, and that was pretty deep with me. That hit pretty deep with me. His performance, Will Smith's performance, phenomenal. Ambitious, but also trying to make it work for not only him but his son, in the movie. And he had drive, and he was smart. He just needed that job, that he can, fit into the mold for. So that performance was great. There are so many movies over the years that have inspired me and motivated me. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now, and I'll probably recall them. Cyborg Recall, no, recall them after after this. But one I do remember was Fight Club. The performances were great. The acting was awesome, and the twist, the reveal, like
right.
mind blown, right? But I also made a Fight Club in New York on Long Island. Around that time, I first saw it. It was like early 2000s, and I was like, "This is amazing," right? And me and a friend went to this plaza. He took me under the plaza, and a lot of homeless people stayed there, and it was wide open. It was empty, kind of dirty. Um, I mean, we cleared off an area and then, you know, put flattened boxes down and duct tape it, and that was our fight club. Um, so yeah, I can't. I'm drawing a blank on the inspirational movies that really stuck with me and motivated me, inspired me. I would say a lot of people, a lot of actors that I watched over the years. You know, Keanu Reeves, of course. Um, Val Kilmer, he's another good one. Um, uh, Robert De Niro, Bruce Willis. You know, it's a lot of action when I was younger, but as I got older, I got into the, you know, the serious dramatic films. Good Will Hunting, Gabriel mentioned. Um, you know, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Robin Williams. His Robin Williams' serious movies, his dark movies, they're pretty intense.
Oh, we were talking about Insomnia earlier today. I was doing a
Oh
live
man,
stream.
Insomnia.
Yeah.
What was the one where he was a photo developer, Final Cut or something?
That
Uh,
with Robert Williams.
Yeah, well, I think I'm crossing lines. He was a photo developer in one, and then another one was where he put people's lives together. Like he took the footage from their life,
Wow.
you know, through their eyes, and he would string it all together. So when they died, he strung it
Inception.
all together, and then they would play that at their
Inception. No,
no, not Inception. It was an older movie.
I might be looking at the wrong
Yeah,
actor.
I'm pretty sure
I
it was
know
Final
what
Cut.
I know. There was 1 hour. 1 hour.
1 hour photo was that other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he got into serious roles, he was intense. He was
Yeah.
very
That's
talented.
definitely the. I think it's easily it's quite easy to sit there and say that as far as a comedian crossing over to dramatics, Robin Williams blazed the trail. There's just no doubt about that.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
oh
yeah.
and
It's amazing. Isn't it amazing to find out how many and let me ask you this, Alexander. I mean, you as a director as well, but do you find it just simply amazing how, how fast that goes for, someone with a comedy background, but you ask them to do a dramatic role and they can just do it like in their sleep, but the dramatic actor cannot do comedy. I mean, it's a work of art. They have to struggle at it, but a comedian can come in there and just knock it out in dramatic roles. It just seems effortlessly. And let me ask you, Alexander, why do you think that is?
He just left.
He's a
Oh,
little gone right now, but I just remembered a
oh,
movie too, as you were talking about a comedic actor going into a more serious role. And this is one of my I
Kevin
love this
Hart.
movie too. Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. Yes.
Uncut
yeah,
Gems
I
was
think
a
Alexander likes that
fire
movie.
movie.
I love
Uncut
that film.
Gems,
Yeah, see?
and that movie is just so good because I often like when films don't always end in the most positive note. You know,
Right.
like
right.
not everything has to end peaches and cream. Like sometimes things end a little darker, and it
Yeah.
leaves the viewer to think like, "Wow, was he wrong? Did he go too far?" Or was it
Yeah.
just this is just the cards he was dealt? You know, it's just so surreal. You know, I love movies like that.
and that
Yeah,
kind of
me
reflects
too.
life too. You know, not everybody has a happy ending.
Right. Yeah, there's sometimes that's how it is. There's not always a happy ending for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, who are we gonna get to next? John, I think you're up.
Yeah. Yeah. So two films that I'd seen somewhat recently that were just absolute powerhouses to me. The first one was The Sound of Metal with Riz Ahmed, where
Okay,
it's the story of a drummer in a death metal band who wakes up one morning and he has gone deaf. And
right.
the movie, it may be one of the greatest explorations of grief and the grieving process and what those steps look like in the modern person. And it was convicting to me, he wakes up and he's deaf and he won't accept it, and so he's talking to somebody on the phone that he can't even hear,
Right.
telling them, that nope, I'm going to figure it out, it's going to be okay, I got this. And he doesn't.
Yeah.
And so it is a beautiful, heartbreaking, absolutely incredible movie about how to move forward when your life irreparably changes.
I
And
love that
Especially when it
film.
involves your livelihood.
yeah, I don't know that there's ever been another movie that has hit that so squarely in the bullseye for me. The second one was Anthony Hopkins' The Father. And
Oh,
I will just say, I think The Father may be the greatest unintentional psychological horror film ever made because it uses the visual language of cinema to show you what having dementia feels like.
Mhm.
And it is terrifying,
yeah.
to witness.
I don't know how everybody else feels about this. But I've always back of my head. I've always had it where I've seen enough people, know enough people have gone out like that. That if I ever got that diagnosis, I'm out.
Sure.
I'm out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
and I
out.
mean, you could make the argument that you'd be smart to do so
Yeah,
because it is its own kind of living death that
it is.
hurts your family and everybody around you before you're gone.
I think films like that too, like sorry to cut you off there, but I feel like films like that
But yeah,
really
so
do.
those were two films that I'd seen recently that just meant an incredible amount to me.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like speaking on John's kind of point, I feel like
Sorry,
films like that
did that come through?
really
Yeah,
do
what's her-
kind of really do
Okay.
bring a little bit of a human element to it, and it really does kind of test you of being human and the aspects of sometimes the battles that we don't see as people behind closed doors, right? Like I was always told, like we view life through a keyhole of everybody, and I feel like when you see films kind of like he was explaining, like John was explaining just now, I feel like it really does, like a director does a very good job at bringing the light of what that reality is for people and really trying to put you in the shoes of like, hey, this is a real struggle that human beings face on a day to day.
Yeah, I have that movie. I just haven't watched it yet. The Father, I have it. I just haven't watched it yet, but I will definitely speed it up on my view list. I have one real quick. So where is real quick? Where is total? Where is your
As soon as
movie
what's
at
his name
now?
left, that shit fucked up for me, bro.
Oh my gosh! Just you know what? We're almost done. We got one last question, and then I'll let everybody get out of. Oh my gosh! Yeah.
They're falling
So
off.
Alexander, I don't know, Alexander, can you still hear me? Oh nope, I guess he can't. Okay.
We'll
All right,
see.
it's been fun, guys. Have a good no. Take care.
They basically just left. They basically just left.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
They said, that's it.
We'll do this.
There we go.
Drew, you.
I think we got one back.
Sorry, my audio cut out like at the last part of my last sentence.
Same.
And I think Gabriel started speaking, and I was like, I don't think it's dead silence right now.
As soon
I
as
saw
Gabe
your
said
mouth
his first
moving.
word, it was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, good. It's not just me.
It was me too.
Isaiah, yeah, Alex, Isaiah, and John have been playing back and forth right now.
I know,
It's the Drew Moore curse, bro. It was not me until you started.
Don't blame it on him. Don't blame it on him.
Now, my question to you, because I was going to just want to know where are we at with Cyborg Recall? I mean, how close is it to being come out? Ready to hit the big screen, and what do you guys have after it gets released? What do you guys have going for the rest of the year? And I guess I should ask Alexander that first, so I will do that.
All right. For Cyborg Recall, we have 3 more film shoots. We're actually filming this Sunday and Monday.
Okay.
We're filming a pretty big sequence in the film. And then after that, we have 2 more filming blocks in August and September. And then we're going to be full on into post-production, probably from fall into the winter. And we're eyeballing a summer 2027 or winter summer 2027 release right now.
That sounds good to us.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask John. What are your plans for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so I've been incredibly blessed having paid work fall in my lap. There's a local promoter who's wanted me to do a sizzle reel for him. He's going to a competition in Vegas. I got invited to a shoot tomorrow because I'm a drone photographer. And wouldn't you know it, their drone person had to drop out. And so I'm like, yes, all right. And so,
Cha-ching.
yeah, yeah. And so it's just it's kind of, for me at least, at this early part of my career in this, it's kind of monkey vining, from one project to the next, and making those connections and cultivating those relationships and friendships and being the reliable person so that you will get the call back. And
Right.
and so in terms of like just for this summer, my wife and I built this photographer's itinerary. We called it Golden Hour for John and Shannon, and there's 40 events here in Colorado every weekend, and they're all like super photogenic. And so I had ChatGPT build me, like an infographic, showing me like, all right, where do I go and when? And then it put it in my calendar in my phone for me. So,
Nice.
like Friday night, I'll pull up my calendar and be like, all right, where are we going tomorrow? And it's already, like put it all in there. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I'm I could not be more grateful or thankful to have crossed paths with every single person in this chat. Thank you
Yeah.
guys so
Oh,
much.
you're
Yeah,
too
yeah.
nice, man. You're
Yes,
You guys
too
are
nice.
sir.
answered.
You're the
You
man,
guys are
John.
answered a
Right.
prayer.
Yeah, this is amazing. You guys have such great chemistry. You seriously do. You hear that all the time. Oh my God! If I only had $1 for every time I heard this, you'll see a big production, and then you'll talk to all the big stars, and they'll sit there and say it was like a family, and you just go like, yeah, until they said cut, and then you take the next jet, the next thing smoking.
Yeah.
But here, man, I can definitely feel the brotherhood here with you guys
Yeah.
here tonight. I can definitely feel that you guys are all watching each other's back and all have the same goal in mind. And it's really fun. It's really, really fun to see. Gabriel, what about you, man? What do you got going for the rest of the year? My new
Yeah,
friend.
honestly, just finishing up this filming, kind of exploring on some of that stuff. I am looking to explore a little bit more outside in the film industry, so it's kind of starting to look in some other areas and stuff like that, and truly just kind of diving deep into the normal job right now, but really trying to take what we're doing and see kind of where the avenues take and some possible other kind of things that I could see at the end of the year. And I think at the end of the year, just have some other growth stuff, really kind of trying to explore more of the nature side. I'm a big nature person, so I love getting outside, love being outside. But yeah,
Nice.
just really trying to just spend the rest of the year trying to stay out of the blazing hot of Colorado right now and enjoy some of the cool weather we might have in the future.
Maybe, maybe.
Yeah, maybe exactly, but truly just trying to take some growth opportunities. I think this was something that definitely came out of left field. I had no kind of idea of even taking a path like this a year ago, and I think the opportunity has presented itself very well and at a really good time of life. And I have met some incredible individuals, people through this journey, and I'm really honestly blessed to cross paths with these people, get to experience this life now and be kind of almost thrown into the film industry in a random, but it's been so cool. It's been such a eye-opening experience as a young individual of life to be like, man, what is a calling that maybe I didn't see, take me by the horns and kind of direct me into a way of life. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds and definitely excited to see what this does.
Just wait till you see your name for the first time on the credits.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. That'd be cool. It's like living it up, living it up.
Paul, how about you, man? What do you got going for the rest of the year?
So for the rest of the year, I've been since last year. I've been in the talks with this guy, John Carroll. He's the writer and director of this horror film that we're still kind of brainstorming. He's talking to a producer right now, and he did cold reads and chemistry reads with all the actors that he locked in, myself included. And I like his vision for this. Where it's going, what he wants for it. He doesn't want to water things down, but the producer has
Paul
a
freeze or the
say.
die freeze?
Yeah, the producer has a say in what he wants and doesn't want. So hopefully he doesn't water it down too much where it's a totally different film from John's vision. But there's that I have, and then I have an Army school coming up. I'm still in the Army, Army Reserve. So I have an Army school coming up in August, and then
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks for your service.
It's been exhausting. 17 years so far. It's been exhausting.
Let's go, my man.
Hey, 3 more years, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. It's a good job. I'm good at it. You know, I enjoy doing it. Best job I ever had, right? We can go on about that at another time. But Army school, horror film, and then applying to more films and commercials through my agency. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Good luck to you, and yeah, man, we'll look forward to seeing you on the next time through.
Thank
Now,
you.
my
Real
two fine friends down here, Ruckus and Drew. Let's go with you, Drew, man. What's going on with you, man? What are you gonna be doing the rest of the year? I know you got something popping.
So it's funny that like we're all in this about like films and stuff, because I've been recently trying to get into my own, you know, like little things, you know. I've always been an artist. Even before I got on the film end of the industry, I was always on like the modeling end or just the creative end. So
Okay.
I'm gonna start modeling again, you know. I'm locking in with these jobs, you know, regular jobs, modeling jobs. I've been trying to draw up my own little short animations and stuff. So I've definitely been working towards that. I can't wait to start just posting little animations and stuff like that. And just spending time with the fans, spending time with my new girlfriend, you know, just enjoying
All
life.
right.
Just enjoying life
Well,
right now. Just
I
taking
think
up
we
shopping.
already know what. I think we know what you'll be doing the rest of the year, right?
He'll be gone,
And
traveling
beyond,
and stuff.
and
Girlfriend.
Yeah. A lot of creative
Yeah.
work.
We won't hear from him.
Yeah. How about the last one of the night? But not the least. The mighty Isaiah, aka Ruckus. What do you got going down for the rest of the year? Yeah.
What month we in? We in July.
We in July.
So, August. Honestly, I am probably just gonna do nothing but work. I work for Southwest Airlines, so I'm just gonna be working nonstop and like and doing what's it called? Applying up for more like background extra roles out of Atlanta. Got to start somewhere, you know.
Yep.
Paul, Drew, Alexander. You need an actor, voice actor, let me know. I'm always
Yeah.
available.
Yeah, buddy.
John, same thing. Gabriel, let me know anytime. But I would say nothing crazy. Just I do Sunday, Monday. I do have to do something big for my director Alexander. Say nothing crazy, but and then. But around November, I fly out to Puerto Rico just for a vacation, just to treat myself, you know, from recovery from my ACL, just a whole bunch of stuff that's been going on. And then afterwards, yeah, just honestly just working on just getting back into like TikTok content creating and just like honestly just getting myself back out there. Around 2020, before COVID happened, I was doing good. I was doing A1. As soon as COVID happened, they just told me to stay in the house, never go out. And I had no ideas. Like honestly, I'm not I could have streamed and done something crazy, but I'm ADHD. I need to be outside. So honestly, it's just gonna be just outside working, making money, and helping out my friends. Just making dreams come true. Really.
All right.
That's right.
All right. That would make us hit our mark. As you can tell, we went over a little bit over, but I have a small army in front of me. Of course, we're going to extend it. I want to thank you guys all for coming out and hanging out tonight, and I hope you guys had a great time. Sorry about all the glitches. That's StreamYard. That's to be expected. They bounce everybody.
We made it happen. We made it happen.
Yeah, they bounce it around all over. It bounced me all over all the time. I always say it's not a week of good shows unless I have a StreamYard glitch. All right, I want to thank the audience for hanging out with us. Lady Valerie it says, what an amazing group of gentlemen here tonight. So much fun, and I hope to see you back here again soon. That will definitely happen. That will definitely happen. And thank you all for coming out and hanging out with us. I appreciate it so much. And tomorrow night we'll be back here for one of our favorite directors, Mitch Lang, who has created the Bogman franchise. He'll be here, and we'll be talking about the rake investigation, and that'll be at 8 o'clock here on 8 Questions With. Gentlemen, thank you so much. If you guys just want to stay loose for 1 minute, I'm going to say goodnight to the chat. Thank you again so much, especially you, Lady Valerie. And we will see you. We'll see you tomorrow night here at 8 o'clock. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you,
Oh,
Patrick.
yeah.
Patrick, yeah.
Thank you for having us.